I don't know.
About 3 o'clock in the morning. 1, 2, 3.
And he's stuck. He's stuck. He's stuck.
Hello, long time no see, and for very, very good reason. For the past 2 months, I've been traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast and everywhere in between. So I haven't had much time to make geology content. But don't worry, in 2025, I have many, many adventures planned for us. And I am back in the location where it all started. And by that, I mean my YouTube channel. And just like that day, it is very, very windy. But now I have a mic, a wind mic, like many of you have suggested. In 2024, we deepened our knowledge of the earth around us, and I hope your appreciation for it. This year, I descended into caves and into canyons, ascended volcanoes and mountains. I relaxed in hot springs, plunged into frigid glacial lakes and swimming holes, chased waterfalls and rainbows, and outran wildfires. And for the past few weeks, I have been reminiscing on all of my adventures and compiling a list of some of my favorite places. So what I want to share with you today is my top 10 destinations and one bonus side quest that you have to explore in your lifetime, especially if you're a geology lover like I am. I'm a little out of breath. I have been climbing up this steep hillside, which I probably should have waited to film this once I got to the top, but you know what? It's fine. And without further ado, let's get to the top 10 destinations you need to travel to. And hopefully by the end of the video, I will make it up this hill. And without losing my hat. Oh my goodness. Banff in the wintertime is my own personal heaven. Your eyelashes might get frozen shut, and avalanches do pose a danger if you don't heed posted warning signs, but all is worth it to stroll within the magical winter wonderland. Since it is the off-season, you can find great deals on flights and hotels. And if you're coming from the US, you'll find that the prices of most things in Banff are pretty affordable, despite what most Canadians say. Here you can snowshoe through snow-covered canyons, ice skate on frozen lakes, and take a gondola ride up to a mountaintop restaurant. And if you're really lucky, you might even see the northern lights. And if you're not, you might get snowed in. Moab, Utah has been one of my favorite places on earth since I first visited in 2014, long before I even knew what geology was. It is one of the most unique geological areas of the world due to having the highest concentration of natural arches. Arches National Park, located in Moab, contains over 2,000 documented natural sandstone arches, the largest of those being over 300 feet wide and 100 feet tall. Seeing photos of this place is one thing, but actually standing under an enormous arch is almost inconceivable. And if you can only see one arch, which is impossible when you're driving through the park, make sure it's Delicate Arch. You know, the famous one that's on all of the Utah license plates? Yeah, that one. There's a reason why it's on all the license plates. Near Moab is Canyonlands National Park, a short, worthwhile detour if you are in the area. If you have time to hike, I highly recommend the Syncline Loop Trail, which not only offers dramatic scenery, but has an extremely interesting and unique geological past that you can learn about in this video here. Inyo is a lesser-known national forest that I find myself coming back to year after year due to its rugged beauty and the solitude it provides. Tucked away in the Sierra Nevadas, you'll find evidence all around you that this area is alive and growing. The summer is the best time to visit the higher elevations where you can enjoy a refreshing dip in the crystal clear glacial waters and chase dozens of waterfalls. You will often still find some snow on the ground in July, keeping most of the mosquitoes at bay, unless you have delicious blood like me. Here you will find evidence of a violent volcanic past and present. Hot springs sprinkle the landscape, which range in temperature from lukewarm to melt your skin off. There are tears in the crust caused by earthquakes, dormant volcanoes and obsidian, and even toxic gases leaking up to the surface, but only in certain places, of course. Am I selling this place for you? In the lower elevations, you will come across a lake known as Mono Lake, which is unassuming and you might be inclined to skip it. Don't. The geological formations that can be found here, known as tufas, are otherworldly. And if you don't mind hundreds of saltwater-loving shrimp swarming you, you can swim in the incredibly buoyant water, which is 2.5 times saltier than the ocean. Big Bend was a park I almost skipped because of its remote location, but I'm glad I sucked it up and made the 4-hour detour. It's one of those places that seems like a whole other world, not only topographically speaking, but also culturally. All along the Rio Grande, you can find vending stands set up by Mexicans from the nearby town. They come across the river by foot, horse, or boat and lay out arts and crafts as well as a pot to take money. My encounters with the Mexicans and these vending stations was a highlight of my trip, but I did learn something disheartening. I did talk to somebody along the trail that had said rangers will come by and just start throwing away, get trash bags and start throwing away the art and the money and everything. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of messed up. You may not have to worry about packing a lunch. Along some sections of the Rio Grande, there are stands where Mexicans sell tamales and tacos. Personally, as someone with a weak stomach that even looking at street food gives me intestinal distress, I passed on the tacos, so I cannot report on the quality and taste. If you are in shape like I thought I was, I highly recommend the Lost Mine Trail. There's no bad view here, and every step it just seemed to get better and better. Until I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, but that's a story for another time. This was a bucket list item of mine for years, and I did not believe the color of the water to be true until I saw it with my own eyes. Bubbling up from underground caves is the bluest water you will ever see. Normally these springs are crowded with people during the summer months, but in late fall and winter, it's unlikely you will see another person here. These natural springs stay around 72 degrees year-round, which is perfect if you are a manatee looking to escape the frigid ocean waters in the winter. When ocean waters dip below 68 degrees, hundreds of manatees seek refuge in the springs. Between November and March, you can swim, snorkel, and kayak with these manatees in their natural habitat, but you cannot pet them despite how cute they are. When I visited in November, I not only saw 30 manatees, but also a mating herd. This is the definition of a hidden gem. I had never heard of this place, and I guarantee most people haven't either, because I saw maybe 2 other people in the park on a Saturday in July. On the surface, it doesn't look like much. Literally, just miles and miles of hardened lava. But below the surface, there are winding tunnels of caves known as lava tubes that you can explore on your own. Just make sure you have a trail map, helmet, and headlamp, not just your phone flashlight. Some caves are well traveled and well marked, and others are not, making it super easy to get lost. Luckily, the hard to navigate caves have names like the Labyrinth and Catacombs to prepare you for what to expect. You do need to stop at the visitor center before entering any of the caves to obtain a free permit and a briefing about white nose syndrome.
Skull Cave, where you can find skulls.
I was convinced that New Mexico offered only boring, empty desert until I came here. Just north of Albuquerque is another place that has seen its fair share of volcanism. Along Route 4, you can find secluded hot springs in the mountains, lava fields, and a very large and young volcano that is still considered to be active. With nutrient-rich soil from past eruptions and the highly erodible canyon walls optimal for cliff dwellings, it is no wonder that one of the largest concentrations of ancestral Pueblo sites of the American Southwest exists here. At the base of the hidden Frijoles Canyon within Bandelier National Monument is an impressive Native American Pueblo site with hundreds of rooms and cliff dwellings, some of which you can climb ladders and go inside. I've never been one to seek out prehistoric ruins, but this is one that you cannot miss. To learn more about this place and its history, you can check out this video linked in the description. This one is less of a destination and more of a road trip you need to take. California 1 starts in Laguna Beach and travels up north along the coast until it meets Route 101, which continues along the Oregon and Washington coast. You will be tempted to stop every other mile like we did, because the rocky beaches are so incredible and it just gets better the farther north you travel. On the drive, you are likely to see hundreds of seals bathing on sandy shores, redwood forests, interesting geological formations including arches, sea caves, and towering basalt columns, and probably lots of construction. Make sure you stop at one of the many beaches in the early morning to explore the colorful tidal pools and predators like sea otters grabbing an easy meal. En route is the must-see magical Redwoods National and State Parks, where you may or may not be able to drive through one of the massive trees.
Oh, literally, let me get out first.
We're not there yet, babe. Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, that's tiny bird. That's tiny. That's tiny. There's no way he didn't fit in it. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Let me. Then there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. It's not gonna.
It's not even close.
Wait.
Let me get up to it. Let me get up to it.
It's not gonna fit.
You don't think so?
No, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna
Oh, come on. It'll fit. Dang it.
It's not going to fit.
Well, that was a waste of $15. I thought that was going to be much bigger.
I know, it's tiny.
If you make it up to Oregon and Washington, a quick few-hour detour will take you to humongous waterfalls, swimming holes, hot springs, and likely wildfires.
Well, it's permeating.
We're gonna die!
Oh, we're in actual smoke now.
Yeah. I smell it.
I turned it off.
I know. It's a little hazardous smoke breathing in.
We're not constantly exposed to it.
There were a number of things we could not do because of the wildfires, so keep that in mind if you are visiting in the summertime. Lake Tahoe is cool, but the nude beaches are cooler, especially if it's a chilly, overcast day in June. If you are looking for a place to become one with nature amongst your fellow humans, look no further. Lake Tahoe has many clothing-optional beaches. The most famous one is Secret Cove, but don't go to that one. It's very much not a secret, and everyone and their kids will be there. When I visited the clothing-optional beaches, most people either minded their own business or were a little too friendly, but I never once felt uncomfortable or awkward. It felt like a very safe space, unless you forgot to apply sunscreen to your bare bottom. But I found that there is a very fine line between too little sunscreen and too much. I had on so much sunscreen that I looked albino, and concerned nudists were suggesting I ought to reapply. This is a road trip I take every year, and each time I find something new and worthy of another visit. This area is home to Horseshoe Bend, the infamous Wave, and the longest and deepest slot canyon in the world, known as Buckskin Gulch. There is a funky maze of hoodoos to get lost in, towering arches, and a colorful array of sandstone formations. You can even kayak from Lake Powell into the well-known Antelope Canyon. I've been here a number of times and have barely scratched the surface. To learn more about this area and hazards you should be aware of before making the trip, you can check out this video. The next place I found by chance, and I so happened to be in the area at the perfect time. Well, near the area. It was a 2-hour detour, but so worth it. This is Anza Borrego State Park in California, and from February to late March, the valleys and hillsides are alive with yellow, orange, white, and purple wildflowers. And the scent, oh my God. The scent here is like a delicate floral perfume everywhere you walk, and it follows you as you drive through the park. If I could bottle up that smell and wear it on my body, I would. For hours, I walked among the flowers, amazed by the vastness of their grasp on the hillsides and the stark dichotomy between this flourishing haven and the parched landscape just outside the park's borders. If you are in the area, I highly, highly recommend stopping here for wildfire season. Wildflower season, not wildfire. Don't do that.
I did, in fact, make it up the hill with my hat. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I put a lot of energy and research into my videos that I hope you like. And stay tuned for more geology adventures in 2025. I'll see you next time. Unless the wind takes me out, it's trying to.